Okay, so West Ham United 3, Leicester City 2 now. First of all, I realise this live stream is coming probably 5 or 10 minutes later than usual, but nevertheless, I had a bit of technical difficulties with my PC, and yeah, we're finally getting this reaction out because what a match it was. A very significant match as well in the overall picture of top four race. And I do realise that United and Spurs, of course, are playing in like 10 minutes time, but I just feel like I have to talk about this match simply because of how good it was, and as well as I said, the significance this match has on the top four, and did even, before kickoff, because of course, before kickoff, Leicester City were in third place and West Ham were in fourth place. Indeed, season in the chat, a Leicester fan, we were so close, and yeah, it really is true. You're so close. Kelechi Iheanacho nearly stealing a march and nearly getting you a valuable point, not only with the point on your board, but also 2 points less on West Ham's. But nevertheless, a really, really good game. Really hard for me to catch my breath on this one. I'm not going to lie, because I just thought it was a really weird game, a really mental game, because for the first, 60, 65 minutes, West Ham completely controlled the game. They absolutely blew Leicester away with their football. I mean, the goals they scored, first of all, Jesse Lingard's first goal, a piece of brilliance. The second goal, once again, a really, really well-worked move from West Ham to get into the box. Koufal squares it across to Lingard for a tap-in, really good football. And the third goal as well, Souček into Bowen. I mean, it was just some brilliant, brilliant pieces of play, some brilliant patterns of play, some brilliant football overall from West Ham, and David Moyes deserves a heap of credit, because West Ham have a bit of a reputation for being somewhat of a defensive side. And not even just West Ham, David Moyes in general, before he went to West Ham as well. Everyone just seems to put this, stigma on David Moyes. He's a defensive-minded manager, but West Ham, their games are quite entertaining. Most games you see West Ham play this season, they're goal thrillers. I mean, you think of last weekend on Monday Night Football, a 3-2 win over Wolves. Before that, a 3-3 draw at Arsenal. I mean, there's a lot of games this season that West Ham have just had bundles of goals against them and for them as well, and overall, though, it did look like they were going to bottle it once again, because there's just this thing with West Ham. Whenever they go 3-0 up, they just decide to ship a few goals away just to make it, easier, I guess, for the opponents, and maybe give the teams around them in the top four race, like Chelsea and Liverpool and all those kind of teams, maybe a bit of hope that, maybe they could drop points, but in the end, it just doesn't happen. I think they've learned a lesson, well, kind of to a certain extent anyway, from the Arsenal draw when they drew 3-3, being 3-0 up, and then last weekend on Monday Night Football, winning 3-2 against Wolves, when they were 3-0 up and conceded 2 goals. And then today, they once again nearly bottled it again to Leicester, who did get 2 goals back. And first of all, man, Jesse Lingard, we have to talk about him. We just have to talk about Jesse Lingard. Every single person and their nan at this moment in time is talking about Jesse Lingard, but you kind of have to, because, again, it's like a few players this season. We've seen a lot of players this season who have just come out from the wilderness and reinvented themselves, especially in terms of the England fold as well, like John Stones, Luke Shaw, those kind of players. And Jesse Lingard, does he have to go to the Euros? Is he going on the plane? Is he going to be on Gareth Southgate's plane? Leave it down in the chat and in the comment section below if you are watching after this stream is over. But yeah, Jesse Lingard, what a player, and what a signing he's turned out to be for West Ham. It's going to be really interesting to see, can they buy him permanent in the summer, because no doubt United are going to want a massive, massive fee for him now with the form he's been on since leaving United on loan in January. I think I've seen a stat that since Lingard actually joined West Ham in January, he's got the most goals and assists, like combined, most goal contributions from out of any player in the Premier League, which is just mental. I think he's got 8 goals and 3 assists or something mad like that. If Leicester and West Ham get Champions League, EPL in the mud, I mean, to a certain extent, yeah, it doesn't look good on Chelsea, Liverpool, or Arsenal, or Spurs if West Ham and Leicester both get in. But I think it would be decent for football overall, seeing, like, no offense to West Ham and Leicester, two kind of smaller teams on paper, I suppose, in terms of name and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I mean, what a mental game. And overall, I don't want to talk too badly about West Ham, because even though they nearly bottled it in the end, I think that they deserve a massive amount of credit. And even before kickoff, I think we all knew, how good West Ham have been this season and how good they are as a team. They're so organised, they're hardworking, and I think David Moyes has got one thing spot on. He's playing to a system that is doing really, really well. He's got players in for that system that need to prove a point or playing from lower divisions. You think of Souček and Koufal, who've come from Slavia Prague. You think of, Bowen, who's come from the Championship, Lingard, who has a point to prove or had a point to prove at United, Mikel Antonio, who's a hardworking player, Ben Rama, come from Brentford, so West Ham really, really building a very, very solid foundation with their team. And they're a very hard-working team, as I said, organised, structured. And not only that, but also free-flowing in attack when they want to be as well, as I said, by the goals they did score today, which were just absolutely just scintillating, is a word that I like to use to describe these kind of goals. But nevertheless, I think West Ham as well, they get forward really, really well in numbers. I mean, you ever see them, they defend like a unit as well, but then when they get forward in numbers with Lingard, Fornals, Antonio, who didn't even play today, but Bowen, those kind of players. Even Souček, of course, who does like to get his odd goal. And I know a lot of people will say that Leicester were missing a few players like Maddison, Barnes, Justin, Perez, etc. But West Ham missing Mikel Antonio, who I really, really like. I think he's a massively underrated player in the Premier League, and Declan Rice, who's just a brilliant midfielder and arguably West Ham's best player. And overall, a very good game I've seen in the comment section below. David Moyes is the third best manager behind Pepe and Brendan. Don't know who Pepe or Pep. I presume you mean Pep. I'm just being stupid. But yeah, David Moyes, is he top 3 manager in the Premier League? Let me know. Probably not yet, but he's doing a really exceptional job at West Ham, I think it's fair to say. And that game in 2 weeks' time, West Ham United versus Chelsea at the London Stadium, it's going to be an absolute spectacle. It's going to be absolute limbs for whoever wins that, if there is, of course, an inevitable winner. But yeah, as a Chelsea fan, as you can probably see, I'm praying we win that. If we lose out to the top 4 to West Ham, it's everything's on the line now, because the top 4, actually, if I check the league table, I think it's really close now. So yeah, Leicester played 31 on 56 points. West Ham played 31 on 55 points. Chelsea on 31 games played, 54 points. And Liverpool the same on 31 games played and 52 points. So 4 points separating third place Leicester and sixth place Liverpool. And a lot of those teams have to play each other as well in kind of a round-robin tournament as well, which is going to be absolutely mad. Basically, as you can tell by the title of this stream, it's something along the lines of the top 4 races on or something like that. But nevertheless, it's going to be absolutely mental for the last few games of the season. And it has been in recent years, in fairness. The top 4 race has never disappointed, especially when the title race has for most seasons anyway. And not less so than this season with Man City running away with it. But nevertheless, it's going to be a ridiculously tense finish, especially for Leicester as well, because let me know in the comment section below or in the chat if there's any Leicester fans. I know there's Ndidi season in there. And it's going to be a mad game. And he's just reminded me as well that we actually have to play Leicester in a few weeks as well, which is going to be another massive game. We have such a hard run in, but I believe in Thomas Tuchel to guide us through it. But it's going to be a really, really narrow finish to the season, whoever gets top 4. And can Leicester bottle it? Will Leicester bottle it once again? And I think maybe a bit of a hot take, but surely if Brendan Rodgers and Leicester actually bottle top 4 for the second season running, surely there's a few questions asked of Brendan Rodgers. Surely there has to be. I mean, bottling top 4 twice in 2 seasons, twice in a row, really, from positions that were really kind to them, especially last season when they were 10 points clear or something like that going into the restart. And Leicester, of course, have Manchester United, Spurs, and Chelsea in the next few games as well, which Ndidi season has once again reminded me in the chat. So yeah, it's just going to be, it's so hard to call. And if you're asking me at this moment in time, leave down in the chat or in the comment section below, as of course you're not watching on stream, who is getting top 4, guys, other than City and United, because I think they're pretty much stonewalled. So it's probably going to be 2 of 4. I think it's going to be 2 of West Ham, Leicester, Chelsea, and Liverpool. Who's getting it? Who's getting it? Said Belkacem said, I have no doubt Chelsea will make it into the top 4. I'm not even sure. And maybe that's just me being a pessimist. But and don't get me wrong, I do believe we will get top 4, but it's going to be really, really difficult, especially with the run-in we do have. And Leicester have a really tough run-in as well. But I think one thing that's definitely proved today, well, 2 things anyway, Leicester maybe not as comfortable as they think in the top 4, and I think West Ham definitely 100%, even though they nearly bottled it and they concede 2 goals late on, I think they have to be considered as major top 4 contenders. And as I said, of course, everyone knew West Ham were in the race, but I think a lot of people were thinking, West Ham, they'll drop off eventually. They can't keep the margin of error, really, or the what's the phrase I'm looking for, but I can't even remember the phrase I'm going for. But basically what I'm trying to say here is surely West Ham now have to be considered as major top 4 contenders, because they really, really can do it. The way they're playing at this moment in time is just absolutely brilliant. And now on to Spurs versus Manchester United, which is going to be another really, really big game. And if Spurs actually win that, they could potentially, where would they be in the table if they win that, Spurs? I think they will move. They will be level on points with Liverpool, but they will go ahead of Liverpool on goal difference. So Spurs well and truly could be back in the top 4 race if they actually win this. If they're not, of course, already in it. But nevertheless, I think that's where we're going to leave it. So make sure to leave a like on the video. Basically, don't bother leaving a like on this stream, because it will be going on private afterwards. Because basically what I'm going to end up doing is uploading the stream as a video. So if you wouldn't mind going to the video after it's been uploaded and leaving a like on that, that would be massively appreciated. And of course, also, if you have subscribed to the channel, or if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I should say, make sure you do so, because we are looking to hit 1.6k subscribers on this channel as soon as we bloody well possibly can. It would be massively appreciated if we can hit that as soon as possible. And West Ham 3, Leicester 2, a magnificent game in the Premier League. And overall, the top 4 race, as we know, is going to be absolutely brilliant. And I can't wait to see how it unfolds in the last few weeks of the season. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys, and I will see you guys later.